What's up everyone, my name is Morton. I'm a filmmaker based in Los Angeles. Today we're going to dive into a comparison between two of my favorite vintage lenses. I'm a sucker for a medium telephoto lens, and I can tell you that used to be one of my go-tos right out of college. I was grabbing my Canon 85mm 1.8 and getting all these beautiful close-ups. So I really wanted to do a comparison between my ZEISS Contax 85mm lens versus my Leica Elmarit-R 90mm lens. So we're going to take a quick look and see some of the differences between both of these lenses. They're both a little bit more expensive or moderately expensive when it comes to vintage photography lenses, but they're also both very easy and accessible as far as it goes to cinemod them for a cinema camera. So let's take a quick look at some comparisons between these lenses. Noticing the sun has gone down a little bit on this example, so it's a little inconsistent with the previous shot. You'll see side by side the ZEISS Contax seems to be a bit warmer, especially looking at Emily's face here. You can see a difference in skin tone. As far as the color grading goes, I just put a Rec 709 LUT over this to make it as fair of a comparison as possible. Now we're at ISO 160 f2.8 on the ZEISS Contax lens, and we're at a variable ND at 2 stops. So let's do the look real quick. You're looking across. I love the look of the ZEISS Contax here. It has really nice contrast and saturation. And when we jump over to the Leica here, again, it looks a little bit cooler. 90mm, and it's again 2 stops in the variable ND, open at f2.8, as far open as this lens goes. You're gonna start looking down that way, Emily, and then you're gonna look past the camera. Both lenses seem to be pretty sharp, but I give the edge to the ZEISS Contax when the Leica is maxed out at 2.8 versus the ZEISS Contax, which can go all the way down to 1.4. When we punch in here, you'll see a difference in sharpness, especially looking at Emily's eyes and some of the detail we see here in her face. And let's see you do the look. She's a little sharper right now when we stop the aperture down. Seems like there was a little bit more sunlight in the Leica here on the right. Could have been a slight difference as far as the sun since it was going down, but we're still seeing a bit of a warmer look on the ZEISS on the left-hand side. So now at f2 with the ZEISS Contax, we're seeing a difference with the bokeh in the background. Things seem to be a lot more blurred out. We're going to drop the ISO down to 160. And we're bringing the variable ND to 3 stops here. And now this exposure looks nice. Emily's looking out there. We'll actually bring it down to 4 stops. Maxed out, I think the ZEISS Contax here still performs very well, but it does seem a bit softer, especially compared to f2 and f2.8 with this same lens. Now looking at it side by side, you'll see that the Leica is a lot sharper at f2.8 versus the ZEISS Contax at 1.4. I thought this was an interesting comparison because we're seeing both of these lenses as wide open as they can get. Here at f4, the ZEISS Contax performs very well. It's looking really sharp, and it still renders a beautiful bokeh in the background. Now the Leica at f4 performs extremely well. This is supposed to be the lens at its sharpest. Looking at these lenses side by side, at f4, both lenses perform very well. They look very sharp, and I really like the bokeh in the background. This was a nice example because we have some color in the background over here, and you're seeing again the 90mm has that extra 5mm, so it's a bit more punched in, and you can see by the size of Emily's face versus the previous shot. f4, both these lenses again look quite sharp. You're seeing some subtle differences in contrast, but overall they both perform very well. The Zeiss seems to be a bit sharper. Again, I think this is because the Zeiss Contax isn't maxed out as far as the aperture goes versus the Leica on the right. Note, we are 49 inches from the subject. At f5.6, both the Leica and Zeiss should be performing pretty well. f4 is supposed to be the sharpest aperture for the Leica 90mm. And when we punch in, we're seeing that the Zeiss to me seems to be just a tad bit sharper in the middle. But it's pretty close overall. At 2.8 here, we should start to see a difference when we punch in, especially being that the Leica is maxed out. At f2.8, the Zeiss Contax is definitely outperforming the Leica as far as sharpness goes, and it seems to be the clear winner. I want to do a test at f1.4 versus the 2.8 of the Leica just to compare both of these lenses wide open. And the Leica clearly outperforms the Zeiss when both of these lenses are maxed out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear which lens you preferred in the comment section below. And tell me why you preferred that lens too. Always curious to see what fellow artists like and kind of what is keen to their eye of cinematography. So if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the next one. As always, thanks for watching.